Palm Springs was like very predominantly white. When we got here in 2000, that was changing and shifting. So we started seeing a lot of Hispanic, Latin American immigrant families and, Spanish-speaking families move into the area. I was only in English courses a short time, what we call ESOL. When I got here from Puerto Rico, I was only there, I think, a handful of months or less because I did come from a school that was bilingual. I always felt supported. I succeeded. I was given opportunities for higher level education coursework, which was great for college, and I got a Bright Future scholarship. So the work was done. Wow. Like, I'm not going to say it wasn't ever like, things were lacking. I got the education I needed to go to college and be the first in my immediate family to get a college degree, which was my parents' whole entire reason for leaving Puerto Rico. Now that I'm an adult and I look back on our system and I'm on the school board, I think the thing I'm proudest of is how far the schools and the district as a culture mindset have come. I get to see dual language programs, to see Latinos in Action chapters. I get to see International Spanish Academies. I get to see, clubs and opportunities for connection and leadership training that weren't there when I was a student. Latinos are not relegated to one industry within the district, and we have grown from that. When it first started coming, Latinos were able to secure employment in specific sectors within the district, and that's no longer the case. We have people in leadership and representation roles that show kids you can do and become whatever it is that you want.
So I'm one of the few people that are actually born and raised here. I was actually technically born in Wellington, but raised in Greenacres. But my family's had this business, since I was a child. By the time I was 8 years old, I was already here on weekends. I was bagging pastries, very little things, an hour or two here or there. By the time I was 12, I was here for sure every weekend, 4 or 5 hours a day. I went to Forest Elementary, which sits in between Greenacres and Palm Springs. From elementary school, I still see kids from my elementary school that have not left, that have been a part of the community the whole time. They come to the bakery, I catch up and see how they've been. Half these employees here, they're the first ones to come from their countries to start working and create a life. I'm in real estate development. I have a real estate development company called the Brand X Company, where my whole primary goal when I first started was to provide an everyday work class family. I geared my company to appease that this market that I told you they're just getting started. They have their kids who are like my age who now grew up here and they want to start a life. They don't want to leave. The most important things I think for me is I want to make sure that people know, people in this county who have born and raised here or starting a life here, know that they can stay here and make things affordable enough. Most people are maybe kind of seeing it now, but this is a true workforce area. People don't realize the true everyday, your lower management, your restaurant employees, your grocery store employees, they live here. This is literally the heart of the workforce. This is the heart of Palm Beach County.
I originally from Puerto Rico, moved to Boston when I was 11, and I did middle school, high school there. And then 9/11 happened, and I made a decision to take a break from school and join the military. I did 15 years in the military. In 2010, I ended up getting deployed to Afghanistan. I was married, and I have 3 kids. So my mom and my sister lived down here, and we made a decision to move down here. I had been here previously, and we spent about 3 years. We loved it. Unfortunately, the military took me back up north, and then after that deployment, Bought a house in 2010, just outside of the area of Greenacres. However, my kids did a lot of the sports in Greenacres, and I ended up coaching in Greenacres and eventually ended up moving into Greenacres. I went to work for Palm Beach State as the director of continuing education. From there, I got recruited to become the vice president of small business initiatives in Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce. And we were interviewing candidates. I started looking at their resumes and comparing it to mine. At that point in time, I had my bachelor's degree. I had my master's degree. I had 3 kids in the school district. I've served in the military. I've run a small business. So I started comparing myself to these individuals running for office. I said, wow, if they can do it, why can't I? And then I started sort of doing my own research in the background as to what's happening in Palm Beach County. And very quickly, I realized that we had no Hispanic representation. Absolutely none. So I was the only Hispanic elected official in 2017. I think we have about 10. Sort of the decision that I made was because the majority of the elected officials in Greenacres were retirees. So these older people are making decisions for a community that is very transient. We are a younger community, so a lot of families with kids. We have 9 schools in Greenacres. So it just felt like the people in the council did not represent the community. Greenacres wasn't really growing. It felt like it was stagnant. It was stuck in the past, and we needed an injection of energy into the council. And so I ran for office. I got elected in 2017, and here I am.